Get ready for a wild ride because Chad Powers Episode 2 takes its hilarious, high stakes deception straight onto the gridiron and deep into the weird world of pretending to be someone else just to get a shot at starting quarterback. If you thought Episode 1 laid some crazy groundwork, Episode 2 cranks the tension, awkwardness, and emotional stakes sky high. Let's dive in and break down every twist, every awkward laugh, and that gut punch ending. Right out of the gate, we're thrown back into the world of Russ Holliday, who's living his undercover life as Chad Powers, a home-schooled Southern folk hero with a face made out of prosthetics and a history written by his own nervous improvising. Russ is working with Danny, his anxious handler, and Dylan, the sketchy guy who cooked up his fake identity. But we immediately see the mask, literally and figuratively, is wearing thin. Picture Russ panicking as a fly gets trapped under his prosthetic face, freaking out that it might lay eggs in his cheek. Everyone's trying to keep cool, not blow his cover. But it's an explosive start and sets the mood. The ridiculousness of keeping up this act is eating at Russ. We're whisked off to football practice where the real drama kicks in. Chad Powers is supposed to be a chill, easy-going teammate, not Russ, the desperate guy with a failing reputation. We meet Jerry Dugan, the perpetually fluctuating backup quarterback, a sweet, oddball character whose eternal optimism and religious faith stand in sharp contrast to Russ's cynicism. Jerry instantly latches onto Chad, treating him like a fellow underdog and welcoming him to the most competitive, confusing quarterback battle ever. The practice scenes are loaded with great banter and real tension. Chad's arm is massive, but he doesn't really fit in yet. Star receiver Nishan Leonard isn't impressed. And Coach Hudson, always hungry and forever seeking the right intangibles, wants to see who's the real leader on and off the field. But something's up. Coach Hudson isn't just looking for who throws the ball best. He's interested in who can lead a team, inspire off the field, and survive the pressure cooker of college football. We get a funny but revealing shower scene where Chad invents a disorder to avoid showering and exposing his prosthetic, claiming his pee hole is too big to risk water exposure. Ew. The coach is both bemused and annoyed, pushing Chad to embrace team customs, especially Coach's annual lake house barbecue, a big chance to prove his leadership off the field. Cut to Chad's awkward home life. Russ is crashing at Danny's place, surrounded by crunchy seat, cushion pillows, wrestling with the invented details of Chad's backstory. The wolf story, the pee hole thing, it's all snowballing. Danny's nervous eat, talk less, improvise less, don't slip up. But Russ, always brash, wants desperately to beat Jerry and not settle for backup. The stakes are rising. If Russ fails, he loses his shot at redemption and maybe the only future he has. At the barbecue, a pivotal scene. Coach Hudson is wrestling with his own doubts. He's under pressure from Trisha Yeager, the aggressive booster chair, whose interest in Chad's backstory and future media rollout exposes how fragile the whole ruse is. The football team is sizing Chad up, poking fun at his water fear and odd customs. Nishan and Rod, The star players roast him for not swimming, teasing him about being a gremlin. Russ, as Chad, tries to play it cool, stay in character, accept the humiliation, but it grows increasingly tough. Trisha confronts Chad alone, pressing for highlights and proof of his football past. Chad stumbles through his invented history with tales of oral tradition and the elders, frowning upon being alone with women. Boo Radley, Trisha's Dalmatian, wants to chew on the rubbery mask, another crisis barely dodged. It's clear the mask isn't just a physical disguise. The whole persona might snap under even the smallest pressure. Then comes Coach Hudson's big water balloon war, the kind of team-building exercise that should bond teammates but only confirms Chad is out of step. The other players wonder if Chad has CTE, and his fear of water becomes a running joke. But then, powered by some classic 80s Mateys montage music, Chad explodes with energy, rallies the team, wins the moment, and gets a taste of what it's like to finally belong. It's glorious, but fleeting. The emotional core lands when Coach Hudson sits down with Chad on the dock. Yo. For all his bluster, Hudson is haunted by fear. Fear of letting everyone down, of making the wrong call, of losing. He sees that same fear in Chad. Hudson acknowledges Chad's talent and unteachable stuff, but he's just not ready. Gary will start. Chad, gets crushed. He tries to hold it together, claims he's not crying, but the disappointment is unbearable. He storms off, tears welling up, running in the wrong direction. Cue Willie Nelson's somber cover of Bridge Over Troubled Water, making the heartbreak land even harder. The final sequences pack the fallout. Russ, alone, exposed, crushed, calls his dad, only to be told that forgiveness doesn't last forever. You can feel Russ's desperation to change, to be someone else, to redeem himself. But as his prosthetic mask literally and figuratively slips, the limits of his ruse become clear. Danny tries to look on the bright side. At least nobody's found out Chad is a fake. Yet. But for Russ, it's hollow comfort. He cracks jokes about wolves taking Jerry away, ironically highlighting how fragile his illusion has become. Episode 2 ends with the season moving on. Jerry is starting quarterback. Chad is backup. The boosters are confused, and the team is hype. News coverage starts swirling the diet. Who is Chad Powers? The world, and the boosters, are ravenous for answers, but the person behind the mask is more lost than ever. The coaches, players, and media grapple with the puzzle that is Chad, while Russ is left to wonder whether his reinvention is about to pull off the impossible or collapse entirely. To sum it all up, Chad Powers Episode 2 is both gut-busting funny and deeply emotional. It's all about masks, what it means to pretend, belong, fail, and desperately hope for another chance. Russ's journey is getting rougher. He's no closer to real redemption, but the tension has tripled. Will he crack under pressure? Will the truth come out? Everything rides on what happens next. Hey, thanks so much for watching this deep dive into Chad Powers Episode 2. If you found this recap engaging, or you've got your own wild theories about Russ's future, hit up the comments and let's chat. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss a single twist from this wild series. Catch you next time.